Hey guys, it's Chris Monk at Highline Guitars, and you're watching another episode of From the Luthier's Workbench. In a recent episode, I talked about how I use my buffing machine to bring up the shine in one of my clear coat finishes on a guitar body. I also mentioned that as I get close to finishing the guitar, I'll use a swirl remover to get rid of those really fine swirl scratches that you can often see reflected in bright light. And I typically will wait to do this when I'm close to having the guitar finished. I'll do the initial assembly, make sure that everything fits and get everything positioned. Then I'll remove the neck, the pickups, the electronics, and then I'll take that shine to the next step by removing that swirl. And to do that, I'll be using a swirl remover and some foam polishing pads. So check it out. To remove those pesky swirls, I'm going to be using foam pads, which I will put on my drill press and use that as sort of a buffing machine. I'm also going to be using New Finish Scratch Doctor, which I found to be one of the best swirl removers out there. There are other brands, but I find it works really well. I'm only going to work a section at a time, and I'll apply a couple of drops of the scratch remover. First, I'll spread that scratch remover around with the drill press off. Try to get it evenly spread over just a small section of the surface. Then I'll flip on the drill press and work the scratch remover into the surface. I don't apply a lot of pressure, and the drill press isn't spinning too fast. You can use a hand drill to do this work, but I find it's easier to use the drill press because I can hold the guitar body with both hands and then move the body against the foam pad, sort of the way I would with my big buffing machine. These pads are 6 inches in diameter, but they'll get into most of the hard to reach places without too much trouble. Here you can see the difference between where I use the swirl mover and then where I haven't used the swirl mover yet. You can see all those fine little scratches around that reflected light. But over here, they're gone. As you can see, the swirl mover can leave a lot of residue, so I'll hang up the guitar body and let it dry before removing it. Foam pads don't last long, but if you keep them in a Ziploc bag, they'll stay clean and last a bit longer. After that residue has dried, I'll wipe it off with a clean, soft microfiber towel. I get these at the dollar store. As you can see, I've removed almost all of those fine swirl marks, but there's still one more step that I need to follow before I can call this finish completely done. With the guitar almost completely assembled, I still have to install the controls and the strings. I'll go ahead and hand rub some of that Scratch Doctor into the surface using a clean, soft cloth. I'll rub it in a circular motion and continue to rub it for about a minute or so until it starts to feel like it's beginning to dry. Finally, I'll wipe off that last remaining Scratch Doctor residue with one of those microfiber cloths that you use to clean eyeglasses. After rubbing down the entire surface with a Scratch Doctor swirl remover, I'll inspect the surface to make sure there aren't any remaining scratches. And if there are, I'll take a step back and I'll apply some rubbing compound just to those areas to remove those scratches. The product I like to use is 3M's Perfect-It 2 rubbing compound. It works great. I'll apply this the same way that I just applied the Scratch Doctor. I'll rub it in and then wipe it off. Then I'll go back and redo that area with the Scratch Doctor to bring out the highest level of shine. Now it's important to remember you've got to use different application cloths for the 3M compound, rubbing compound, and for the scratch doctor. If you use the same cloth for both, you're going to have trouble getting rid of those fine scratches. And that's how I get rid of those pesky swirl marks and the fine scratches that sometimes can still exist even after machine buffing the guitar surface.